Buffalo Bills fans, get ready. The 2025 NFL season promises to be a pivotal year for our beloved team. With rising stars, strategic acquisitions, and high-stakes contract negotiations, the Bills are poised for a season that could redefine their legacy. Let's dive into the key developments that every Bills fan should know about. A talent overlooked last season is now threatening to explode as the Bills' new offensive hero, and no one is prepared for what he can do. Keon Coleman, entering his second year as a wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, is turning heads as one of the most promising names on the roster for the 2025 season. While his rookie campaign was modest, accumulating just 29 receptions, he made a lasting impression by finishing third in the NFL in passing average per catch, 19.2, and scoring 4 crucial touchdowns. Those numbers, while still small in volume, reveal an explosive athlete capable of changing the course of a game with just one play. At 6'4" tall and with impressive physical strength, Coleman is exactly the type of wide receiver the Bills' offense needs at this time of transition. Sports analysts, such as Jacob Infante of Pro Football Sports Network, are already calling him the main revelation player to watch in Buffalo, and it's no wonder. His combination of physical size, ball skills, and natural talent for contesting the ball make him an ideal target for Josh Allen, especially in red zone situations and long third downs. The Bills' offseason was marked by the addition of veteran receivers such as Josh Palmer, coming from the Chargers, and Elijah Moore, formerly of the Browns and Jets, both with potential but still looking to establish themselves. The arrival of these experienced names has not diminished Coleman's space. On the contrary, with the departure of Stephon Diggs and other important offensive pieces, the opportunity is there for him to become a new reference point for the air. For many fans and experts, 2025 could be the year that Keon Coleman goes from being a prospect to one of the centerpieces of the Bills' offense. If he can turn his efficiency into volume and maintain consistency throughout the season, it wouldn't be surprising to see him surpass the 1,000-yard mark and establish himself as the team's WR1. Josh Allen has already shown that he can win without a dominant receiver, but having a target like Coleman who forces opposing defenses to plan specifically for him could be the missing factor that takes Buffalo even further. But it's not just on offense that the Bills are surprising. On the other side of the ball, a newcomer is impressing veterans with his strength, explosiveness, and dominance in the trenches. His name, TJ Sanders, and the impact he promises could be much greater than you might think. TJ Sanders, the Bills' 2025 second-round draft pick, is already emerging as one of Buffalo's most exciting offseason surprises. Standing at 6'4" and weighing in at around 290 pounds, the University of South Carolina defensive tackle combines brutal strength with explosiveness, providing exactly what the Bills' defensive line has been needing after a season marked by inconsistencies in the middle of the defense. During the rookie minicamps and OTAs, Sanders didn't just turn heads, he practically took over. From the very first practices, his presence was noticed not only by coaches, but also by veterans and local media. According to reports from Spectrum Local News and BuffaloBills.com, Sanders has been using his strength and refined technique to win interior battles with impressive regularity, demonstrating that his transition to the professional level could be quicker than many they were expecting. His trajectory in South Carolina already indicated a special talent. In his last 2 seasons, Sanders accumulated solid statistics: more than 90 tackles, 13.5 tackles for loss, TFL, 8.5 sacks, and several pass deflections. His performance earned him the team's Spring Defensive Player of the Year award, in addition to constant praise for his work ethic and tactical acumen. Now in Buffalo, he seems to be replicating and even surpassing that level of production. What is most impressive about Sanders is his characteristics. He can line up both inside the line, as a nose tackle, and in wider formations, such as a 3 technique, which allows defensive coordinators to fully exploit his lateral range and penetrative instincts. He doesn't just take up space, he invades backfields. That ability is essential for a team that in 2024 saw its pressure rate drop to 32.5%, putting the Bills among the 10 worst in the league at that time. Question: with the signing of veteran Larry Ogunjobi and the addition of Deone Walker also in the draft, the Bills are reshaping their defensive trenches. But it is TJ Sanders who emerges as a player with the greatest potential for immediate impact. If he maintains this level of performance throughout training camp and preseason games, it is quite plausible that he will earn a starting spot in his rookie year, a rare but extremely important thing in a unit that urgently needs youth, energy, and consistency. Buffalo fans may have found not only a technical reinforcement, but a true new defensive leader in the making. Speaking of impact, it's time to face a reality that's stirring up analysts. Even with an MVP at the helm, the Bills' offensive trio is still viewed with suspicion by much of the specialized media. But is this criticism fair? Let's dive into the numbers and potential of Allen Cook and Shakir. Even with one of the NFL's most dominant quarterbacks leading the attack, the Bills' offensive trio, Josh Allen, James Cook, and Khalil Shakir, was ranked only the 9th best in the AFC by Sports Illustrated. This assessment generated discussions among among fans and experts, especially since Allen, the current league MVP, had an absolutely brilliant season in 2024, accounting for more than 40 total touchdowns. But what could be stopping Buffalo from ranking among the top? The answer lies in the environment. Although Allen has established himself as the heart and soul of this attack, the other two members of the trio, James Cook and Khalil Shakir, still don't enjoy the same national prestige. Cook, for example, had impressive numbers. More than 1,000 rushing yards, 16 touchdowns, and an average of close to 5 yards per carry. Shakir, operating mostly in the slot, was extremely efficient, totaling 76 receptions for 821 yards and 4 touchdowns, with one of the lowest drop rates in the entire league, only 1.2%. These numbers demonstrate solidity and reliability, but SI's analysis highlights the lack of explosiveness, those plays that change the course of a game and scare opposing defenses. While other trios such as Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and Zay Flowers on the Ravens, or Joe Burrow, Chase Brown, and Jamar Chase on the Bengals stand out for their ability to break through defenses in seconds, the Bills trio is still seen as stable but not devastating. However, there is another possible interpretation. Stability and efficiency are also powerful weapons, especially when combined with a quarterback of Allen's caliber. Buffalo's offensive line has been one of the most consistent in the NFL, and the chemistry between Allen, Cook, and Shakir is improving. In addition, the arrival of reinforcements like Josh Palmer and the growth of young players like Keon Coleman could further raise the ceiling of this offensive group. The fact that the Bills finished with the second most efficient offense in points last season reinforces that. Even without full recognition from the national media, the team's offensive trio is already producing at a high level. And most interestingly, they will have the opportunity to prove themselves directly against the trios that are ranked above them, as Buffalo will face the Ravens, Bengals, Texans, and Chiefs in the regular season, instead of seeing the 9th place finish as a criticism. The Bills can use it as fuel. If Cook can repeat, or even surpass, his production, and Shakir continues to develop with confidence and explosiveness, there is no doubt that this trio can climb the rankings and, more importantly, lead Buffalo to the Super Bowl again. 4. And speaking of James Cook, his contract situation could be the biggest point of tension in the Bills' entire offseason. He wants to be paid like a star. The team is hesitant, but one thing is certain. What happens with Cook in the next few days could change Buffalo's future. James Cook, the explosive running back for the Buffalo Bills, is about to enter the most decisive season of his career. Entering the final year of his rookie contract, Cook has made no secret of his desire to be rewarded, and fairly. His performance over the past 2 years qualifies him for a hefty extension. More than 2,000 combined yards in that period, an average of more than 4.8 yards per carry, a league-leading rushing touchdown in 2024 with 16, and a consistency that few running backs have managed in today's NFL. The problem? The running back position has historically been undervalued in the league in recent years. Teams have been choosing to invest in young talent via the draft rather than tying large sums to players on second-cycle contracts. This trend is directly reflected in the Buffalo Bills' stance, which has yet to make any progress in negotiations with Cook, despite his production and impact within the offensive scheme led by Josh Allen. According to sources from the NY Post, Reuters, and TalkSport, Cook is seeking something around $15 million per year, a significant amount, especially considering that only a small elite of running backs currently reach that level. The Bills' management, led by Brandon Beane, is approaching the situation cautiously. They know that Cook is a vital piece of the offense, but they also understand the risks of compromising the salary cap with a player at a position that historically has a decline in performance over time. But Cook has a strong ace up his sleeve: his performance. He hasn't just delivered results. He's been reliable, decisive, and versatile. In addition to his more than 1,000 rushing yards, he also had more than 300 receiving yards and became an important weapon on third downs and in the red zone passing game. His absence from voluntary OTAs was noted, and there is an expectation that his positioning in next week's mandatory practices could dictate the course of the negotiation. If Buffalo decides not to renew with Cook, there will certainly be a market interested. Teams with cap space and immediate needs in the backfield will not be lacking. On the other hand, keeping Cook on the roster means guaranteeing stability, explosiveness, and continuity to the offense. The Bills' decision is not just financial. It has direct implications for the future of the franchise and its relentless pursuit of the Super Bowl. What is at stake goes beyond contract numbers. It is the definition of priorities for a team that is constantly knocking on the door of glory. And for James Cook, 2025 will be the season in which he will have to prove, once again, that he deserves every penny of his asking price. Bills fan, which of these 4 names do you think will have the biggest impact on the 2025 season? Keon Coleman, TJ Sanders, James Cook, or the offensive trio with Allen at the helm? Leave your opinion in the comments because this season promises to be great. Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, but I will come back later to update you with the latest news from the Buffalo Bills.